Welcome to the Six Figure Personal Stylist Podcast, the ultimate no BS business podcast for ambitious personal stylists ready to build a six-figure and beyond personal styling business. You won't hear the typical snooze fest business advice that most personal stylists get told all of the time. Nope, instead, I'll be sharing business building strategies that will help you create a killer personal brand, a cult following of loyal personal styling clients, and make a ton of cash while creating lasting style transformations for your clients. I'm Nicole Achi, your host and a former personal stylist of 14 years who built a lucrative styling business in 3 major cities, but only after spending years trying to crack the six-figure styling business code without burning out. And now I'm here to tell you how to do exactly the same. Let's get into it. Today, I am joined by the incredible mother-daughter styling duo behind Rose Transformations Personal Styling, Brenda and Kyla. In this deeply moving conversation, Brenda and Kyla share their journey of building a transformational styling business born from profound personal loss and how they have moved beyond the traditional image consulting world to create truly life-changing styling experiences for their clients. And in this conversation, we're also going to explore how personal style can be a powerful tool for healing during some of life's most difficult moments, which I know is going to be something so many of you will be able to relate to. This conversation is a gift to stylists everywhere and a beautiful reminder of the deep humanity at the heart of transformational styling work. Enjoy. Today we have 2 stylists on that have their own styling company, a mother-daughter duo, and I'm going to leave it to them to tell you what they're up to and who they are.
I'm Brenda, and I am the old lady of the group. I work with women who are 50 and over for the most part. We just have a really great styling company, and we are so happy to be here. We love you. You have been awesome. And I have a house full of kids, house full of grandkids. Busy lady.
Yes, very busy lady. Kyla?
So I'm the daughter in the duo, and mom really drug me into this business with her, growing up with her and seeing her in fashion. It was always so interesting and gave me this interest in it. So we do it together. We see our clients together. We work with our clients together. But then I also, she has the women over 50 side. I kind of bring my own little side, really talking about the mothers and women who are female entrepreneurs, but they're also hustling through the motherhood side of it too.
Yeah, it's really interesting because most people are afraid to have one niche, and here you are having 2 very successfully. And I think it's such a great example to stylists. So your business origin story is really interesting, and I would love for you to share it. The name of your business is Rose Transformation, and there's a much deeper story behind it that I would love for you to share with our listeners today.
My first kind of experience with color was in 1982. So I have been with this for a long time. And I grew up sewing and designing my own clothes literally since I was 5 years old. So fashion kind of came naturally to me. It was just a love. I have a really creative mind and love to design. So that's how I really kind of got started. That's my background. Got colored in, like I said, in about 1982, and I fell in love with it and couldn't leave it alone, and got certified a couple of different times. And so I've been with a couple of companies and then ended up moving around. Back in the day, we went from state to state, and you lost all of your following when you moved to a different state back then. So we were getting ready to start something new. At least I was, and Kyla kind of decided she wanted to tag along.
Yes.
And now she's the boss.
Yes. And the big part in that too is through a lot of the tough things in life is what ultimately led us here.
Yeah.
Together. Because mom was always interested in it. I was always interested in the style growing up, seeing her in it and just being very artsy and creative myself. But then through going hard things in life and actually seeing what style did for us in those times is really what led us here. And I'll let you talk a little bit about Amber if you want to talk about that.
Sure. My daughter, Amber, was diagnosed with breast cancer at 31 years old. So we spent a lot of time. We were actually, while she was in remission for a while, we were actually getting ready to do a business with the three of us. We weren't sure what it was. We were in the process and all of that when we found out that her cancer had come back, and that's not good. So we had to take a break. We went on hiatus, and we had to, of course, get her through all of that time and, treatments and a lot of research and things. So she did pass away in 2021. And so we took some time to, of course, grieve and all of that, but we knew we had to get ourselves together and do something, and we knew she would want us to continue.
One of the things that you have shared in our work together, I've worked with this amazing team for over a year now, helping them transform their business, is just the personal sort of side of how the amount of grief that you've experienced, both of you, that you really did authentically reach for style during those times. Like, I hear a lot of stylists talk about how it boosts your mood, and we kind of talk about it in the normal everyday way of just, getting to the office or, dealing with the kids, another day of like the monotony of being a mom. But in those moments of deep grief, you have described using your style to get you through it. And could you just share a little bit more about that? Like, was that something you did naturally? Was that something that you were consciously doing? Was that something that you had a lot of other experiences grabbing for as a coping mechanism? Because it just feels so authentic now that I know you both. Like, it wasn't like a marketing strategy. It wasn't like pop psychology. It was like truly from within.
Yes.
Right. I think it was both, at least for me. So I guess I'll talk for myself for a second.
Yes.
I think for me personally, it was both. I wasn't really intentionally doing it, but like at the same time, I kind of knew that it would help me feel better. When my sister had passed away, just in the time that we found out just how sick she was again, I had also just started feeling like myself again from motherhood, overcoming my postpartum stuff. I just started feeling like myself. And then she passed away, and it just kind of pulled me right back down, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, down on the couch, barely wanting to take a shower, like probably didn't, honestly, let alone did I want to like try to put myself together and be stylish. But there kind of came this point for me that it was like, I do have kids at home. I've got to do it. I've got to like take care of myself. And I didn't want to do it at all. But I just kind of slowly, like, I started getting dressed a little, or I started putting a little makeup on, and I started feeling a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And there were days that I would get dressed and I would just cry and cry and cry. But it was like, but I did it. I at least got up off the couch. And in that time, anybody who's been through that, like, that is a win in itself, just to get up off the couch after that. And so it was like feeling a little bit better and a little bit better. It was like, okay, I got this. Like, grief never goes away, but you kind of learn to cope with it, right? And so it just clicked for me that like, okay, I've got this. And that's for me when it was like, this has helped me so much. And I just felt like I wanted to like scream it to the world.
How much of it do you think was the fact that it was modeled for you growing up? Because I mean, I know Brenda, she didn't just become stylish when you guys launched this business. She is a icon, in my opinion. Like, speaking about her like she's not in the room, but and so how much did you see that modeled in your home?
Oh, a ton. And I also think, and I know she's okay with sharing this, but I also had a brother who passed away when I was 7 years old. And I saw mom deal with that and be such a strong leader for our family through that. And she never tried to hide her grief. She wanted us to see like it is a struggle. But like through all of those times, in my eyes, she just handled it so well. And even in those times, I think that you use style, at least in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah. You know, and you kind of hit on that I hit it, that they didn't see my grief as much. They did, but they saw me still kind of going through the style thing and trying to feel okay. And that's what I would say about the style, is that when you are in such a hard time in your life, I just remember, wow, when we first lost Isaac, it was really sudden, very tragic, and shock. And I could barely function for like a year. But after a while, I kept thinking, I'm so tired of seeing myself looking grieved. I didn't want to see it anymore, even though I still felt it inside. I had to see myself as myself. I had to see myself as normal. And so I wanted the world to see that too, because I would go out and I didn't want people to look at me and see what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I got myself back together and picked up myself off the couch and got dressed and started trying to get myself back together, back into my style, back into the things that I knew I should be doing. So
First, thank you for sharing those stories with us. They're deeply personal, but they are huge gifts to anyone who listens, because it is really the example of how getting dressed in style isn't just about like feeling good. It's about human dignity, and it is about living, especially in the story that you tell about both of these tragic losses. It's a way to keep living when you really kind of don't want to, and it's hard, and it's like an act of humanity that's so simple, but that is almost easy to not think about it, or to not grab for it as a real strategy because it doesn't seem, deep enough or whatever. But in some ways, it is the deepest, most human thing you can do. And so I love that you bring that to your styling business, because it is the essence of what true transformational style is.
Yes.
Is that act of humanity.
yeah.
Yes.
And because of what we've been through, it allows us to see our clients in a way that a lot of stylists don't see them, because of what we've been through. I mean, we literally see like straight to the heart,
Yeah.
and we can get to the heart of things with them, and we empathize with them and what they're going through in their life of not feeling themselves and that kind of thing. We can really feel that with them.
With Amber too, in our experience and her passing away, a huge, huge hit for me that led me to wanting to be the transformational stylist. Really, like, it's not about the clothes, it's about who we are. And all of that was after she passed away, and we had to deal with all of the clothes in her closet. And she was my big sister by far. I think there were 13 years between us. So I always really looked up to her, and I always felt like she has the best clothes, like always looks amazing. And she did. She was always very stylish and put together. But when we were going through her clothes, and I was seeing these clothes that like I thought were so amazing, it was like there's nothing really. I mean, they were great, don't get me wrong. They were nice clothes, but there was nothing like really that special about them. They didn't like have the sparkle that I always remembered them having. And so it really hit me, like, because it's not the clothes, it was her wearing the clothes. Like, it was her who brought that life and sparkle and energy into the clothes. So me putting those clothes on just didn't like do it. It was like, well, what's this? Like, so that was a huge point for me that really led me to really like doing what we do now, the way that we see things now, and even communicate with our clients. Like, it has to be you. You have to be in the equation, and you are what makes the clothes amazing. And that's why you can't take other people's taste. It should all be you and your sparkle.
And you have to see it in yourself to be able to give the clothes the meaning. And the fact that you're willing to share your personal story in your business story is such a gift to people to identify, like, oh, I am the right client for them. I can trust them. And so it's just so amazing to have other stylists hear your bravery and your honesty and your candor. Which brings me to a question that I think is interesting. You guys came to me at a point when you were launching an image consulting business. And as you were listening to the podcast and kind of getting to know my messaging, you started to realize that there was kind of a gap, because you guys come to this as very transformational, obviously, like it's instinctually that way for you. But there was sort of a gap between that and what the modalities you were using and how you were presenting yourselves. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think that we were doing a lot of the color analysis, which is great. And we still do color analysis, but we were seeing these clients and there was just this, like, we just wanted more. Like, we wanted to help them on that deeper level. And as much as we, felt good about helping them with their colors and stuff, it's just like, it just wasn't that transformation that we really desired and knew we could bring to the table. And I think that even like we would try it, but, just the color clients, as we came to learn with you, they're not always ready for that full level of transformation. So it just was kind of like, I mean, the business was working, like we were, successful in terms of getting clients and even making the money, but it wasn't like what we really wanted. Like, it wasn't the impact we wanted to make in that.
Yes, right. We wanted to see them transform. And you just using color, it's really helpful, but it can't really transform your whole image and really give you that extra something you're looking for.
And like the, and as
transformation, the inner transformation as well.
Well, there was no space for the conversations, right? Because they were coming to you for this like transaction of like, here's your colors, and then walking away feeling like, oh, I got the experience that I wanted. That experiences and transformations, you can have a good experience in a transformation, but one is a transaction and one is is deeper, right? And does what you were longing for. So what's interesting is you had all the tools to go deeper. You just didn't have the structure of the service. So like you both knew how to do style analysis. I didn't teach you that. You knew how to do all that.
Right.
So it was that you weren't taught in the color analysis / image consulting world how to create the service that would be the vehicle for the transformation.
Exactly.
And so that's what we built together. And what has the experience been like in doing that service, which is called Bloom? And what is the difference in the kind of clients, the kind of conversations you're having?
Well, we have had some clients, because of our marketing, come in and just like right away be okay with spilling like their hearts to us about why exactly they aren't feeling themselves, and being able to sometimes even take the content that we have made, like, I heard you say this on Instagram and that's exactly how I'm feeling, or like that's exactly what it was for me. We had a mom even, and her son had a childhood cancer, and so she really resonated with things that mom has shared on Instagram of like, that is it for me. I had to put myself last because I had to take care of my child. So we've gotten so much more of just that, those people who, they know what it is. They are longing for not just looking good, but to really feel like themselves again, be able to take on life and power and just show up.
Right.
It's interesting because what you're describing is that you changed your services. You made them deeper. You still do color analysis and all of that, but your messaging had to go with it. And as a result of you sharing more transformational versus like, this is what your palette will look like. This is your seasons. This is how long it takes. All of a sudden you realize the audience was actually there for the transformation. You just had to call them in with what you were saying. And in the time we worked together, you've kind of changed your niches a few times. You've tried a lot of things. One of the things I love about this duo is that they will try anything. If I suggest it, they're like, okay, like before we get off the call, Kyla is like ready with the plan. Brenda is on camera. It is on Instagram stories, and it is incredible. And that is how they've gotten so far so fast. But share a little bit about some of the stages, perhaps we will say, to getting you where you are now with these two niches.
Yeah. So it's definitely been a lot of learning, and we're so thankful to have Nicole
That's for sure.
to work
She's
with to
awesome.
help. I think there has to be the trial and error. Like, I really do. I think you've got to just go for it, because you're not going to know if something doesn't work unless you try. Like, what is it going to hurt? And just really finding, that sweet spot of like what's feeling good, after we've really gotten into a habit of, after we work with a client, kind of taking a few minutes to like look back and like, okay, why did they come to us? What kind of person are, like just all of that, really looking, seeing what felt good about the process and really refining as we go. And even in the niching too, we do work together. That's one of the things that the clients who work with us, they really love, that we both are at all of the appointments unless like something comes up where we can't be. We work together, with any age, but we also have our own little things that we kind of talk about too, our own little separate niches. And one of the things that I think has helped us a lot over the last like 6 weeks or so really is having our posts where we're showing up together, but then also having posts where we're showing up just as individuals. And Mom has started her Women Over 50 series.
I love it so much. I get so excited every time I see it on my feed. I have to control myself to not overshare your posts. So because like, favoritism's a thing, because just Brenda, the way, actually, I would love to hear Brenda talk a little bit about, because this is one of the most inspiring things of my career as a 44-year-old, to see you embrace social media. And at first you were like, I don't know, like,
No.
Kyla's really good at this. I'm not so sure it's really my bag. It's not really my lane. I'll give it to, but the way that has transformed has been incredible. You are so amazing on camera, and you're just like a light. So tell me a little bit about your experience and how that has felt getting more comfortable on social media.
Well, yes, of course, social media, that's a whole new trick for me to learn. So I always say it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right?
I
But
don't know about that.
I'm used to being in front of people. I've always been in front of people all my life. So being in person in front of people doesn't bother me at all. But the camera, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother story, because I'm always a little conscious about being on the camera. I'm like, well, sometimes they don't always show you in the best light or whatever. And I just, Kyla kept saying, Mom, you have to get on camera. Send me this video. Go make this video. I want to see it. So
She gives you assignments. I love it. She gives you assignments.
Yeah, and I probably sent her like 20 that I don't think she's ever used, because they're probably stupid. I don't know. But I have learned to just do it. And if it turns out okay, if we can use it, we can use it. But no matter how many I make, it's practice. So I think you just have to practice and show up and do it scared, right?
Yeah, it's what desensitizes you to yourself, though. Like, the more you do it, the more you're like, get used to seeing yourself, and then you pick yourself apart a little less because you're just used to it. I'm someone that hates it too, so I get it.
My husband always watches it too, so I can hear him playing them. And I'm always like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to hear myself. But
There is something weird about your people in your real life seeing you on the internet versus, like, it's fine to me if strangers see me, but my husband sees it. I'm like, I mean, the man saw me give birth, but for some reason it is a little bit weirder. I don't know why that is. So I hear you. What's interesting to notice is how, as you guys have reached for more transformational styling services, you have a pretty big package. It's pretty in depth. You have really transformed yourselves in the way that you've built your business and spoken and doing that. What do you think the biggest stretches have felt? Like, what are the things that have felt like the biggest leaps you've made, or the hardest leaps? Brenda, maybe being on social media is one of them for you. But Kyle, what has felt like the thing that made you stretch the most in this business?
Like feeling like I am worth that as a stylist, like for somebody to do that kind of package with me. That's something that, and I don't know why, but that's something that I have really worked on. And working with you, Nicole, I don't know that I've even really shared that with you, but working with you has really helped me work through some of that, of just like being able to see myself as like that CEO stylist. Like I can do it just like any of these other stylists that I've seen online and admired, just like they can. Like, why can't I? So I think that that has been a really huge thing for me personally, of just overcoming that and being like, yes, I can do this. I am worth this. And I've got the talent, I've got the skill. I can show up at these events. We actually just went to an event recently where I literally told mom on the way there, because that's like a thing for me. I'm not super outgoing in a large group of people. So I literally had to tell her on the way there, like, Mom, I have to put my alter ego on here in the car so I can go to this event. Like, got to put the CEO stylist on. So I just think really like being able to step into that and into that kind of visibility personally.
I'm really proud of you. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people in the color analysis or sort of image consulting world, some of it is that they don't know how to build the transformational larger packages because they're just simply not taught. So there's that. But a lot of people hold themselves back from getting the coaching or the consulting they need to do it because it feels safer. And I think that you're kidding on that, is it feels safer to say it's $300, so you can't expect, we don't mean it, but to some degree it's like, well, I mean, how much of a transformation can you expect from me for $300, right? Like,
Yeah.
we don't, it's just enough. And we're left feeling this wanting in our business, but we're also left feeling afraid of what that wanting is signaling to us in terms of what we're stepping into. And the fact that you've done that scared, both of you, in different ways, over and over, almost unrelentingly, is the part that amazes me the most. Like, probably because you've been through so much, your endurance is great, right? Because next to losing a child, this is pretty, or a sister, this is pretty small stuff, right? So that perspective and that strength you bring is really incredible. But you're such amazing examples to other stylists to see something more for themselves and to tell them like, hey, it's not always easy, but we show up anyways, just like we expect our clients to show up anyways. So that's really interesting. So you guys also have done some other really cool stuff. Like, you're sitting right now in your styling studio. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes.
That
That's a process.
it has been a project, I'm going to tell you. And of course, our husbands, they took on this job that they never asked for, right?
We're legacy building here, gentlemen. Get with the program.
Yeah. And so it was a big project. We basically took last summer and built our studio, and it's sitting on my property out in the country. People drive out and it's quiet and charming out here. We love to pamper them out here. It's a great drive. We hand chose everything that's in here. I mean, we literally looked at it, thought it over, and, made sure that it would just really resonate with our clients when they came in, everything.
And spark creativity.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted it to really spark creativity and like symbolize their transformation. So yes, it goes with our branding, we have roses and stuff all over. But also, we think of that's kind of just like can be a symbol of transformation too, when you just bloom. So it was a project though. And I just have to say that Mom and I thought that this was going to be, like a week project. Just, throwing up a studio can't take that long. Oh no, it was about a 6-month project. We just were like, let's just do it. It's nothing.
Just get it done.
But isn't that the way you have to go into things like this? Because if you knew, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
We wouldn't
have done it.
Kyla and I, we did things we've never done before, let me tell you. We reupholstered furniture. We painted everything in here. We have done furniture transfers. You name it, we've done it. We've painted interiors. We put down hardwood floor. We have done all kinds of things that we never have done before. So it's been a little wild.
That's amazing. What's really cool too is that, like, I know, Kylie, your kids are around, so they're watching this. You have a lot of grandchildren, Brenda. Like, it's sort of like interesting to see how it's like a generational, like, yes, your mother and daughter doing together, but there's the influence of it being on your property and the fact that your husbands are involved. It's really a family business in so many ways, it seems like.
It is. It is. And I love that you brought up my kids being able to see it because they were around through so much of the building process. And, they would like try to help. We would give them any little job we could to make them feel like they were helping. And when it was done, because they saw what it started as, and when it was done, both of them, they are 5 and 7, were like, wow, mommy, like you worked really hard on this. You worked really hard on this. And my daughter, she is always like, can I go work with you and Grammy one day?
Yeah.
So I just love, and it's like, I mean, if she wants to and we continue it as a family business in the future, sure. But I just love like seeing her see me work hard and like really show them, not just tell them you can go after your dreams. No, I really am trying to show them that they can.
And I keep telling Kylie, in a few years, we better be on the lookout for a hostile takeover from her daughter.
I think that might be the case. You've done some pretty cool things there too. I can see why she would be very tempted. It's like every girl's dream in that in that amazing studio. So I can see why. Hell, you also shared an interesting story, if you don't mind sharing. After the Mother's Day episode came out, where I was talking about letting our kids see us, be uncomfortable showing up and not just the good parts, and sort of learning to let them witness our transformation as we're in it. And you shared a great story about your son that I'd love for you to share with the audience.
Yes. So my son, he's 5, and he is my more quiet, more reserved kid, total opposite of my daughter. And he doesn't always put himself out there and things, and he's just kind of like, yeah, just very quiet and shy. And his teacher recently told me, she said, Kyla, I just have to tell you how impressed I am with your son's growth this year and his confidence. She said, of course, he's learned so much too. I'm impressed by that. But I'm mostly impressed by how much he has grown in his confidence and putting himself out there. And like they do show and tell in class. And he went from like not even wanting to take show and tell to now he'll take things and tell his class to get up and tell his whole class, what he has and all of this, and just be able to like confidently do that and put himself out there, like not as shy and reserved anymore. And I just like when she told me that, I kind of couldn't help but go to that thing in me that was like, it's honestly no surprise that at the same time I have really been transforming in those same ways because he is more like me. I can also be a little bit more reserved. That at the same time he's seeing me do that he is also doing the same. And he's in part-time childcare. He goes to school part-time right now. So he's home with me a lot. So he's seeing me working a lot. And I'm very open with him about why I'm working. And sometimes he sees me have to make the videos. And when we have been on TV before on news segments, I've been very open with him. Like, mommy was really nervous to go and do that. I was really nervous to go and talk on camera. But look, I did it. And I'm very open and honest with my kids about that. And so I just think that it's no surprise that he's growing in that way at the same time I am.
It's no surprise that when you try to build a transformational business, the people around you transform. I mean, that's how you know. It's like a sign of it. And we're so scared of it, but it's just amazing. And that story gives me goosebumps. It's amazing. It's just incredible. So what are you guys excited about in this next chapter? We have the studio. We have all of our services up. Bloom is blooming. It's doing amazing. That's their signature service. They're niched. What are we looking forward to, ladies, in this next chapter?
I am looking forward to, so in the fall, my son, my youngest, starts a full day kindergarten. So we are really like opening up kind of almost a next chapter of our business. We've been talking about some plans and things that we have for fall to really put ourselves out there even more than what we are right now. Mm-hmm. So definitely that.
Yes, we'll definitely have more time to be able to grow our business and see more clients. So we're really looking forward to that. And not that we're looking forward to the kids not being around, but it will give us some more time. So
It's exciting. If you could go back to your younger selves, or before you started the business, or you're on the precipice of starting the business, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
I think for me, I wish I would have stayed with this and grown it no matter what was happening in my life. I wish, even in my moves, I really wish I would have stuck with my passion, because this has always been my passion, and made it work. I really kind of kick myself that I didn't do that and stick with my passion. And also, that growing old is scary, but it's not as scary as I thought.
Oof, we needed that one. Thank you.
Yes. Not as scary as I thought.
And I, in that, have kind of almost the same, because I had wanted to go to college originally for something fashion related. I mean, it was just in me. And we're in Ohio, not a very fashion forward area, to be honest. And everyone told me, including college advisors, if you're going to stay in Ohio, which I knew was what I wanted to do, I'm very a family person. I could not leave mom. Everyone told me, if you are going to stay in Ohio, absolutely do not do that. You will never make it in anything like fashion style related here in Ohio with what I was wanting to do, like something similar to this, not working in a retail store. And so I didn't follow what I really wanted to do, what I felt called to do. I just listened to what everyone said. And so sometimes it's I mean, I sometimes I want to say what if, but at the same time, I do kind of think it all worked out the way it was supposed to.
It all worked out because she's still in fashion, but now she also, her degree's in marketing, so she knows the marketing.
That's actually helpful.
Yeah, so it's super helpful to have her marketing knowledge. So it worked out.
I think it's a good lesson, and when things are when you really have a calling, it will keep finding you. Brenda, you're an amazing example of that. Thank you both so much for being here with me today. I have loved this conversation, as I love all of our conversations, and I know that the stylists listening are going to get so much from this. Thank you both.
Thank you so much. We absolutely love you, and we think you're the best.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for having
us. Right back at you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It turns out that social proof is actually pretty important, so if you could help me out, I'd so appreciate it. If you just had a quick free moment and could leave me a rating or review on the podcast app, that would be killer. And even better, if you wanted to share this episode on Instagram and tag me, that would totally make my day, and it would bring so much more awareness to the podcast and would help other stylists just like you who are looking to build lucrative styling business, because the better each of us does, the better all of us do. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll chat with you next time.